Hey, what's up, Coaching Success Radio? Today, I'm going to share with you my secret strategy for building your perfect client avatar. This is the same system I have shared with dozens of my students to help them ramp up their business and start making 3, 5, even 10 times as much as they used to make. Check it out. As I build my coaching business, I want to know how to effectively serve clients and make more money doing it. This podcast will pull back the curtain to reveal exactly how successful coaches are building their empires. Join me as I engage with top coaches from all over the world to discover their secrets. No theatrics and no theory, just real-life strategy. My name is William Winterton, and this is Coaching Success Radio. And I am super excited about this episode. First of all, this is not your basic how to create a customer avatar lesson. I'm going to dive way deeper here because I know you know how to use Google, right? And there's been lots of talk about avatars for a while. And I'll be honest, I have built out several over the past years. I didn't do it back when I was coaching real estate investors, but I did when I started coaching small business owners. And now again that my focus is on coaching coaches, I have changed things radically. Okay, for me, the process of creating an avatar has progressed and it's improved along with my business. And in this podcast, I want to pull back the curtain. I want to take you through my process. It's different than what other people might go through, although the principle is basically the same. So let's start with what is the client avatar, right? Despite what the YouTube thumbnail suggests, it has nothing to do with James Cameron's movie, right? Dances with Smurfs, as I like to refer to it, right? It's basically creating an ideal client and putting a face and a name and a bunch of personality traits behind it. And then typically it becomes another of 100 PDFs that you have floating around with all those free ebooks with those amazing templates that are gonna, help you bring in more clients, all that stuff that you opted into that dude's funnel and you got all those freebies. That's kind of what happens when you build these things out. Like you create your avatar, you stuff away in a drawer, and you forget about it. I am not interested in something that doesn't do me any good. Okay, honestly, I don't waste my time. I don't really want to waste my time on anything that's good in theory, but not practical. So I want to walk you through the process. It's streamlined, it's thorough, and it is incredibly effective. I'm gonna share a huge secret for me that I have used and I swear by. I haven't heard anyone else talking about this. Okay, and I've been around for a while. I've never heard anybody talking about doing it this way. I'm so excited about this because this is a breakthrough that once I started doing this, I started seeing my results go through the freaking roof. Okay, are you excited about this? It is so awesome. So I'm going to share that in just a minute. So let's start with the basics. The whole point of an avatar is to build up an ideal client, right? Who do you want to work with? What do they like? You want to make sure they have an affinity. You have an affinity with them. So think about things that you would enjoy about that person. When you're creating this avatar, you want to make sure things like, they pay on time, they're respectful, you enjoy each other's company, you're both trying to make the world a better place, all that kind of stuff. Because whether you know it or not, when you create a client avatar and you start creating a culture within your company, every time you bring in a new client, I don't care if it's just you working by yourself. Every client you have will contribute to your business, period. In some way or another, each and every client you onboard will become part of your company's DNA. You need to be aware about this. All right, not only during the time that you work together, but even after they're gone. All right, so you've probably heard the expression, you can never step in the same river twice. Once you onboard a client, their story is going to impact you in some way, all right? So yeah, if you bring on someone who, like, let's say things aren't as smooth as you'd like it to be, let's say they're consistently complaining about the coaching or the process or just complaining about their week, all that energy is going to have an effect on you. And depending on how long you're working with them, it's going to gradually wear you down. I'm not saying you're going to quit and go back to corporate or whatever, but it's going to weigh on you. So the next time you have a strategy session, you're going to be more aware and hopefully you'll look for signs of a client's personality before you bring them in. So to help with this, your client avatar should be crystal clear. Doesn't mean you're going to have only clients that are basically cloned after your avatar. It means that you're going to start to attract those kinds of people. That's why you want to be dialed into what kind of personality do they have, what kind of character traits, what do they like, what are they like to hang out with, what do they like to speak to. What frustrated me before about this process, and I'm just going to get real with you here, is this always felt fluffy. Like it was some kind of feel-good thing that made me think I was doing something for my business. Like it kept me busy and it made my brain think, okay, yeah, William, you're working on your business, you're building out your client avatar. This is important. I'm going to, come up with a perfect ideal client. And I started going through all these characteristics. And I actually had a lady who was insistent that we get so detailed with this, like, what hair color they have, what the age and names of their children are, like all that kind of stuff. All right. I think there's some logic behind it, but like going in super deep and just creating a person and not really having all the strategy in place, it's a waste of time, right? You're like I said, you're going to end up filing this away somewhere and you're going to forget about it. I don't want that. So I'm going to go into some of the reasons why you should do this. In one of my Future Success Stories podcasts recently, I was talking with a coach after our interview. I do this with every guest who's gracious enough to come on my show. If you're a new coach, especially if you're newer in the business, I basically offer a free coaching session right there, sort of a thank you for giving me your time for coming on the program. So we get done with the program. She does great on the podcast. And so we're talking, and she's telling me that she really struggles with the idea of selling her services. She's had several clients. We talked about some of them on the podcast. But afterwards, she confessed that only one of them was actually paying her. All right. And she wasn't even charging them a full price. It was like a discounted rate because it's all she felt comfortable asking for. And she was coaching everybody else that she had, all these other clients. She's coaching them for free. And it would have surprised me if this weren't a story that I hear so often from so many coaches. Even if they've been coaching for like a year, right? People are like really concerned about how to ask people for money and to get people to pay them for this. So she and I were talking. I dug a little deeper. And she was really put off by the idea of selling, right? Selling her coaching. And like so many, she would get to the partner conversation with a prospect. They go through their whole strategy session, and it would get to the part where she's going to talk about how much she charged. And she's got a number in mind. She set her rates up, and then she told me she'd freeze up. And the next thing she knew, she was scheduling the next meeting with the client, all right? Completely bypassing the part where she talks about payment. This is a self-worth, self-doubt issue. It's you doubting your own worth and feeling that no one would see the true value in what you're offering. It's not real. This is a big, fat, false assumption, right? And it's a big enough mind block that it will overpower hundreds of hours of training that you've gone through to become a certified coach. Think about that. Most coaches train for months and spend thousands of dollars to be, certified, and then they struggle with whether or not their services are worth charging for. This is why you need an avatar. You need it done the right way. This is why you need to niche down. You need to get super specific. And you need to start figuring out your perfect, ideal client. And the language you use in describing this person, the way you imagine them, the way you position yourself in front of that person, okay, that's what changed the game for me. It's what changed the game. I've said it before. I am a people pleaser. It's in my DNA. I struggle with it. I want everyone to think I'm awesome, okay? And like if I'm in a room with 100 people and 99 people love me, I'm going to seek out that one person and try and figure out what's going on. I'm trying to get them to like me. I've had to work through that for myself. And this process has been so critical in helping me overcome that and overcome the obstacles that every coach faces as far as, self-worth, being able to charge what they're worth. So when I think about the person, the ideal client that I am going to work with, I'm describing someone who wants to work with me and who sees me as being able to solve their biggest problem. So when I designed my avatar, I didn't just think of their job and their education and their age and how much money they have. You need that stuff for sure. You got to be dialed in on that. But I also thought about what it is they need fixed. Their problem, their pain. And I imagine them all messy and dirty. Their picture, in fact, their clothes, messed up hair, muddy clothes, ragged, kind of lost and confused. All right. So stay with me on this. Don't get too academic on me or tell me I'm inappropriate or whatever. I'm imagining somebody coming to me needing help. Everyone needs help. We're all struggling with something, right? So when this person shows up, yeah, in real life, they might wear a suit and tie or a nice dress. They have a nice haircut. They smell good. They're clean cut, bright eyes. But on the inside, there's pain. There's unfinished business that they're stuck on, and they need help. And this is the key that glues us all together. Remember I told you there was a secret piece to this that I built up? I'm telling you, this is the key. This is critical. You ready for this? I imagine myself working with them, fixing that problem, eliminating their pain, and once it's fixed, once their problem is fixed, and they're past the issues, I create a second avatar, one that shows what that person is doing now that they're fixed, now that I've worked with them, the improvements in their life, their new income, their new freedom, their new health, brighter smile, more joyful glow. I paint this image of that person basically being reborn, almost glowing, right? This is all imagery, and I'm not saying that this person is somehow perfect now or that I'm some kind of a saint or God or something, but imagery, it's powerful. And once I built up this image in my mind, I put that image in my mind every single time I speak with someone. And because I'm crystal clear in who I want to work with and what their problem and their pain is, I instantly put the person I'm talking to into that box. I put them into that broken, torn up, wrinkled, smelly, dirty, and unfinished box. So when I'm speaking with a prospect, this is where I imagine them in my mind. Again, I'm not saying I'm better than them or trying to inflate my ego. This is a visualization process. This puts me in a frame of mind that allows me to help them and allows me to sell to them. Because as I talk with someone, I hear their story, I hear their pain, and I hear their struggle, and I keep imagining this broken image over and over again and how it affects their lives. So what happens when I have my strategy session with clients, I see them in this situation and I see where I can help them out. And I visualize where they are now and I visualize where they could get to with my help. And that changes the framework of my sales pitch when it comes time to talk about money. I'm no longer selling them. I'm offering them a chance to get out of their current situation and into the better one that I know exists for them. My job changes from being the person who tries to get them to buy something from me to being the person who helps them realize there is a way out for them. It's subtle, but it's so powerful. Do you get that? So having a before and after avatar would allow you to visually, in your mind, visualize what it is that your services actually do. You can't argue with the image once you create it. There's two different people from start to finish. In the first image, your dream client with all the characteristics you desire, right? This is where you go into detail about their life, their job, their family, all the stuff that makes them perfect for what you're offering, okay? And the important difference is that you don't want an image of a perfect, clean-cut person represented here. You want to know who they are. Know they're a great person with awesome qualities, but you need a visual image of someone who's messy and broken and doesn't have their crap together. Then in the second image, same person, same qualities as your ideal client, but now they're fixed up. They're clean, healthy, they're wealthy, they're more alive, more vibrant, they're energized, excited about life. This is the person they become after working with you. It's the same person, but there's a metamorphosis. This is the process that I have developed that works for me, and it's helped a lot of clients, dozens of coaches. It's also helped me to be completely okay charging for my services because now I can see how much better off a person is and how much better they're going to be when they work with me. So in the first broken image, they're not a bad person. There's nothing wrong with who they are. I just believe that no one wants to feel like I imagine that picture to look like. I believe my clients want to feel like the second picture. So I'm going to caution you, this is where political correctness will not work. If you're worried that imagining someone a certain way or thinking about people and doing this is somehow degrading to them or it makes you a terrible person, listen, you're way off track. The person inside is amazing, all right? but they're broken. They need your help. That's why they're attracted to you. You are coaching them out of a problem, right? So it's okay. This is a visualization. That's all this is. This is the before and after. Is just a way for you to move this from being abstract to concrete. You need something visual to make this work, okay? And it does work, right? So try this out. And if you like this, let me know in the comments. And thank you so much for listening, for subscribing to the podcast. This is super powerful. I hope you take this to heart. Have a great day. And I will be back on Friday with another future success story. Later. Wow, that was awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in and checking us out. New episodes are coming out every few days, including lots of conversations with massively successful coaches sharing their secrets with you. So be sure to subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel so that you don't miss out. And if you're looking for a way to start making serious money from your coaching, you need to check out my free training. It's at williamwinterton.com. I lay out the step-by-step on how to start making 5 figures a month in the next 60 days. Check it out, williamwinterton.com. I'll see you next time.